It's Reverend Lauri with Unity of Ocala for our weekly love notes. I haven't come to you in a few weeks with our love notes because first we had technical difficulties, and then, of course, last week it was some challenges, to say the least, at home. And I hope this works because I'm not getting a cloud recording like I'm supposed to be, but I'm going to record it anyway and see if we can figure out how to post it. I wanted to do that because I've missed you and I like to keep connected to my Unity family. It means so much to me to have that spiritual support system out there holding the high watch for me. As most of you know, my dear beloved Michael made his transition Sunday morning. It was a difficult week. He's been sick for a long time, but it was still a little bit of a surprise. Even though he was in hospice care, we were pretty confident he was coming home by the weekend so we could continue the care at home. But that was not the plan, and it went pretty quickly. I was really blessed. The kids were able to see him and spend some time with him on Friday, and then I was with him as he took those last few breaths and slipped away. I was playing his favorite music on a CD and holding his hands and kissing his face and laughing and giggling about all of the joy we've had. And he just peacefully slipped away. And it is a blessing, but it's really hard. It's just unimaginable that he's not going to be in this home that we've shared for 30 years and a life that we've shared together for nearly 40 years. So it's going to be an adjustment. But over the last 2 days, I have just been flooded with love. I've called friends of his and ours. My husband was just loved people. He loved his friends so much. He had lifetime friends from childhood, and they adored him. And I've got to talk with them and hear how much they loved him and how much they've missed him. And it was just so touching. I mean, this was a man that touched so many lives. You know, I first met him back in the early 80s, 81, I think. He was so outgoing and boisterous. It was a little bit offensive to me because I am really an introvert. I am a turtle. I slip into my shell. I'm a 9 on the Enneagram, so I want peace. I don't argue. When I was younger, I was a door slammer and a foot stomper, not confrontation. But Mick believed in facing challenges head on. And if there's something on your heart or mind, let's put it all out on the table and talk about it. That was really challenging for me, but he taught his kids how to do that. He had such a zest for life and such a love and devotion to children, not just his own. We were one of those homes where all the kids gathered throughout the years and the whole teams came and ate. Kids would wander over if they were having troubles at home. My son's best buddy down the street spent most of his time there. I remember my husband buying a 1956 Chevy pickup for our son, and the whole block and all the friends, boys and girls, rebuilt that thing over the course of one summer. And he made sure, we lived on the lake, and he made sure that every one of those kids knew not only how to swim, but how to ski and how to pull a skier and how to keep each other safe and how to jet ski and enjoy everything that God has to offer. My husband was very spiritual. He was not religious. I didn't understand that when we first met until I found Unity. He told me he never wanted to be part of a club. He meant that by religions. He never wanted to be part of a club because his God was in the woods when he was there, was on the water when he was there, was with him and his children when they were together, and was with he and I when we were together. So it was just a beautiful way to look at God. And he would join me for Unity services because he really liked those types of services. But the rest of the club stuff, he just didn't want to have anything to do with. He didn't like exclusiveness of any kind. He wanted everybody included. That's just the way he was. He the way that the kids loved him, and they would just gather in our home, and as the boys got older, they got as big as my husband, but he would still wrestle with them. I'd come home, they wouldn't do it when I was there. I'd come home and the plates would be rattling in the china cabinet there in the living room because they'd be throwing each other around. He was just a big kid. And I remember when the tables were starting to turn, when I came down and saw one of my son's buddy, at the time he was like 6'3", a senior in high school, and he had my husband pinned down on his back, and he was hanging over him, and he said, "All right, Mr. Gist," or no, my husband looked at him and said, "Okay, Chad, are you ready to give up? Cry uncle." And Chad said, "Uncle," and he stood up and helped him up. And I went in the kitchen, and there was another neighbor, Gabe, who spent most of his time at our house. He had his head in the fridge. They all did all the time. My grocery bill was outrageous. And he looked up and he looked at me and he said, "Hi, Mom, we're out of milk." And I went, "You don't live here." And he said, "I eat here and I sleep here." And then off they went in the boat. And that was just our house. And it is to this day. We're in the same home. So it's going to be a real adjustment getting used to not having his physical presence here. But I've already felt his presence these last few days. He's already guiding me in ways that are just going to be so fun. He was such a prankster. He loved to amuse himself. This guy never missed any of his kids' games and wanted them to be so successful. He would bribe them to hit home runs. And they loved it. They wanted to just see if they could actually do it. And I remember any kid that came to stay at our house was initiated, and we had lots of them. We had family move in and out. We had friends over from time to time that needed a break from whatever life they were experiencing. We have this bathroom, and it's got a window clear up here and a screen. And he would keep that open for circulation. But whenever there was somebody in the shower and he knew it, he would get the garden hose and just spray it on them. And he would hear these screams and he would laugh and he'd say, "You're initiated into the family." And then the kids would tell their friends, "Always shut that top window in the bathroom. You will get ice cold water on you." That's just what he lived for, those kinds of joys. He showed all of us how to grab life with gusto and realize that every breath is an adventure. Every trip can be a crazy adventure. And he has some of the craziest stories. I thought he was making them up. And I knew how honest this guy was. Honesty is his code, is his life, is his religion. So I thought he's got to be making this stuff up. Nobody can experience things like this. Until I eventually met all of his buddies. Sure enough, they actually did these antics and these pranks, and we would laugh and giggle. I promised him we would not have a funeral. There is one thing my husband hated, and he did not like that word and did not hate, but he hated funerals. He hated those 3-day long ones, especially. He couldn't take it. As a matter of fact, his mother, had to sit next to him at every funeral we ever attended until he was in his 50s. I mean, he just couldn't. And I came to understand it wasn't so much the service, it was the saying goodbye. He couldn't say goodbye to his friends or family members. So I know that's going to be hard on everybody to say goodbye. And he didn't want us to do that. He wanted us to gather as friends and family around a campfire with a cold drink in your hand, music playing, and everybody laughing and telling stories. So that is exactly what we're going to do. So I am in awe of the life I've had with him. I am enjoying every emotion that is flooding through me. And I am so, so grateful that I have a church community that's out there virtually and in Ocala that loves me, that supports me, that knows how much I love them. I am going to be in church this Sunday. I hope you come. We are back to the masks. We're not going to take any chances with this Delta variant, so we're being careful again. But I just need to be in the presence of all of you and just share with you. So then I might take a little bit of time to just breathe and be with my family and figure out how we're going to manage this in the upcoming days, weeks, months, and years. So thank you for your support. I love you all. I want to just read this I have a 365 daily meditations book. It's called Opening Doors Within. And it's by Eileen Caddy. I've had it for years and years and years and years. So I just flipped to August the 1st. That was the day he passed, on a Sunday morning while it was raining. His favorite of all time, a rainy Sunday, was the way he wanted every Sunday to be. He would gather the kids and we would watch videos of the VCRs and VCRs of Lonesome Dove. He would make sure the kids would be home. He would say, it's a Lonesome Dove day. Get the snacks out, get the blankets out. We are camping out in the living room and watching it together. To this day, that is my kids' favorite thing to do, go-to thing when they need to be filled with family. Lonesome Dove days. And I read this for August 1st, 2021. Get into tune with me in the peace and stillness. How can you expect to hear my still small voice when you are in turmoil within and are too busy to take time to be still and listen? As you learn to be still, you will be able to do it no matter what you are doing and no matter where you are. You will be able to pull your cloak of peace and stillness around you and find that center of peace which nothing can disturb. And there you will find me in the very midst of you. You will find your realization of oneness with me. And oneness, you will be in full command of every situation. And you will know exactly what to do and how to do it. It is something all individuals can do when they want to. Excuse me. It is not reserved for just the few. Why not be still now and at perfect peace? I love you. Thank you for your love. I'll see you Sunday. Have a blessed week. Grab and hug those you love. Bye-bye.